All right, let's take this further now. The Premier is joining us live in studio. Premier, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your patience while we were in the ad hoc committee. Let's start with perhaps the concern, right? Because today, you speak about a successful weekend and all of that and how much revenue generation there is. But some of the residents are still concerned to say, you are seeing a cleaner Joburg, streets with law and order. They don't know how long that will last, though.
I don't want to say it was coincident, because during the State of the Province address, which was around February this year, we stated clearly that we want to clean Johannesburg, want to clean our CBDs, want to ensure that our streets are clean in terms of potholes, street lights, and all other related matters. So we obviously we have to accelerate on the basis that this is a first summit to be held in the continent, in our country, and we have to put our best foot forward. But we can assure our residents that we are taking this process forward. Today, 7 o'clock, we continue to our meetings with the mayors and the national cabinet ministers, so that we don't stop because G20 is over. We really believe that we need to beautify our province. We need to reclaim the areas where we believe there are hijacked buildings. We need to ensure safety, like we had. I mean, literally every off-ramp with a police car or a police van. We want to continue with that with us, the law enforcement agencies, especially the SAPS, to give us a cost model so that we can check whether we've got the financial muscle to sustain it. But we are quite excited that it was a successful G20 with only 13 incidents that happened during that period.
You speak about an accelerated approach, of course, because of the summit. Are they still applying the same breaks, the same accelerated approach, one would say, when it comes to dealing with some of the issues? And I ask this because when you ask the mayor, he does speak about the fact that you do have potholes as a challenge, for example, and they are trying to close as many as possible. But is it still an accelerated approach, or are you a bit more lackluster?
No, it's still accelerated. Obviously, we'll take a break a week before the Christmas period and come back immediately on the 2nd of January. The reason why I want to accelerate, there's another big event called Leaf Golf, which is like a World Cup of golf. It's going to be held at Stand City. This one is massive. It's bigger than the G20. You've got lots of golfers that are using their private jets to come here, spectators that are coming here, families that are coming here. So we want to continue so that by the time we host the Leaf Golf around March, the province still looks as beautiful as it is. But we also want to expand our townships. We are of the view that we are Tembisa, Deep Sloot, Orange Farm, also need to be beautiful. Unfortunately, we don't want to say because visitors don't go to these areas, therefore these areas must not be attended to. We want to attend to them and deal with the issue of flowing sewer, the issue of electricity, and the issue of water.
What's the time frame there? And it was going to be the next question, because I know that there is that program of clearing dumping sites and trees and planting trees, etc. But what then becomes the time frames, particularly for the townships? You know how the issue of streetlights in some of these townships is concerned, the issue of infrastructure and all of that is concerned.
Our approach was to intensify safety first in those areas, 26 townships that we've identified across the province. The reason being, if you don't have presence of law enforcement agencies, even if you can put a new globe in the street light, it's going to be vandalized or be stolen or be taken down. So our approach is to put the necessary law enforcement agencies, but also put the technology that we want to employ. We are now almost around 23,000 of CCTV cameras, and majority of those CCTV cameras are in the townships where we've realized there's a high level of a crime. But we have also felt that we need to deploy police stations to have the necessary capacity. So we've given almost 275 new cars to SAPS as the provincial government, so that when communities say we are seeing crime, the police station must not say we don't have cars. So we want to strengthen that aspect. And then the normal improvement
Are
of
they using those cars, though? I ask it because you would have seen when we had a high police visibility during the G20 summit, some of the residents in the townships were saying, where are you? Meaning to the police officers on an ordinary, basis. So are they using these cars?
It's justified. That observation is justified. Purely because, and that's why we said to the Provincial Commissioner of Police, Lieutenant General Mtombeni, and the National Commissioner, give us the cost implications of ensuring that we've got a police van in every off-ramp, we've got a police person in major strategic areas in our province. Because that on its own, I mean, I'm looking forward to the crime stats of the last weekend. I can assure you they'll be the lowest that they've ever had over a weekend. So we want to sustain that. But to sustain that, we need to pay overtime. To sustain that, we have to ensure helicopters fly. To sustain that, we need to have people at strategic centers, which is not easy. That is why I would say, let's not rush to make pronouncement. Let's get the costing of this arrangement. And on the basis of that, we'll be in a position to make an announcement on how best we can ensure each and every township and each and every citizen is protected in our province.
So currently, as we speak then, because this was another law enforcement boost that was expected from your end, the crime prevention wardens, what's happening there?
Well, they're there. What the public protector said to us to say there is a need for this law enforcement arm. There is a need to protect the jobs. She has given us 180 days to regularize it. So we're working flat out to meet that deadline. I've already extended a letter to the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Police to say, we've got 180 days, but we also want to train them better. Because now that we know they will be authorized and be appropriately accredited to be a law enforcement agency, we want to take it to them. Because they play a very crucial role, ensuring that each and every township there is a law enforcement agency that can provide either an ear to those that are complaining or protection to those that need protection. So the public protector's report gave us that opportunity to regularize and immediately empower them in terms of training and the resources that they need for them to fight crime.
Premier, before I let you go, there was a briefing earlier on today by the Department of Health, and this comes after concerns of E. coli, right, when it comes to this one supplier as far as food is concerned. Now, the biggest concern was it doesn't look like post this discovery, there were plans that were being made, especially at a hospital like Charlotte Maxeke. These are the allegations to say patients were going hungry there. What is the latest and how concerned are you about that?
No, I'm very, very concerned. When the mayor of Tshwane picked it up and raised it with me, I raised it with the MBC. I got a full report this past weekend purely because we're busy with the G20 arrangements. And there is an alternative plan that is on the table, and we endorse that alternative plan. Instead of the food being cooked by the service provider, we've asked the service provider to transport uncooked food to our centers, and we've added more numbers in our kitchen to cook the food at our kitchen where we don't have this challenge of water. So we really believe that it will sustain itself for quite some time while we're fixing the problem there in Tshwane.
Premier, thank you so much for your time. So I'm looking forward to the second conversation that's going to speak about, you know, what becomes the plans after you've got those costings from the police in Gauteng.
Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to us. That's the Premier of Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi, speaking to us post the G20 Summit, but of course including some of the policing matters there.